Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Here in DC, we are in the afternoon, so good afternoon for my DC folks. Welcome to Available to All Vessels. This is a platform where we discuss real life topics that are here to encourage you, to uplift you, and just to give you another perspective of things. We are discussing pregnancies from the time you get pregnant, while you are pregnant, to the time you go into labor, and to the time you deliver your baby. So this month we want to focus on dads, on fathers. Usually women are pregnant, they are the ones who are carrying the baby, they are the ones who know what is going on in their belly, and the father is just sitting there. So I want to understand the perspective of the father. I want to know what the fathers are thinking in their mind, what they are feeling, how they are feeling throughout this journey. So today I have invited somebody so special, somebody who is very dear to me. I've known this person for so long, and I'm very happy to do life with this person. This is a person that is, as I said, dear to me, to encourage me. This person has been there to support me. This person was there when I was having my children. By the grace of God, I was blessed with 4 wonderful children, and today I would like to interview no other than Pastor Bilong, who by the grace of God happened to be my husband, my darling husband. I'm happy that he agreed to answer to the questions that I have. I've always wanted to hear the perspectives of dad. Believe me, this is the first time I'm going to hear his perspective as well. So we are going to discover what he has to say in regards to his feelings and the emotions that he was going through, even before I got pregnant, or even while I was pregnant and the day of the delivery. I really want to hear what he has to say about it. If he has some words of encouragement for some men out there, I want to hear what he's saying. I think it's going to encourage somebody out there, somebody who doesn't know how it's going to work. You are going to understand that it's just life. I believe his testimony is going to be powerful. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Wait. Welcome, Pastor Bilong.
Thank you.
All right, so happy to have you here. So I've always wondered what was the perspective of father as far as pregnancy is concerned. So today I want you to share. I've really never heard about your experience. This is going to be the first time for me to hear about your feelings and the emotions that you were going through even before I got pregnant and the time I was pregnant, and etc. So I want to hear your perspective of so we got married and then I got pregnant. Okay, talk to me. Tell me what were you feeling? What were you feeling at the moment I told you that I was pregnant? What was you feeling?
Well, at that point, I think it was more about allowing my imagination to go through to try to guess what the baby would look like, what would be life with the baby. Would he look like me, or look like you, or whatnot? So that's really right at that moment. At the moment when, as the first time you hear your wife is pregnant, that's, at least for me, that's what came to my mind.
So
I was thinking more about the baby, about the outcome
about what the baby will look like.
Pregnancy, yeah.
Yeah. So were you thinking about the gender? Were you interested about the gender?
Yes, because I would say that I, for some reason I wanted a girl first.
Wow.
Why? I don't really know why. I can't really explain why I wanted a girl. Of course, I didn't have a girl, but I wanted a girl first. So I was just thinking about what that would mean for me to have a girl, to take care of her.
Yeah.
That.
Well, I can see now why you are so connected with your girls. So I understand that that is something you were longing for.
Yeah, well, I don't know if natural. There's always a natural connection between the dad and the girls, but really, I wanted girls to start with, at least a girl to start with. So yeah, the first months to me were more about thinking about what
the baby is going to look like. So after a while, when I was pregnant, what was your feeling? What are the challenges that you encountered?
Now, as time went by and now I started seeing the pregnancy developing, I somehow came back to the reality that I was dealing with a person who had a baby in a woman and who was going through a first experience. So when that first imagination, dream time, when I went to it, maybe after the first couple of months, the middle of the pregnancy towards the end, it was more about you, about how were things going to happen. I was more concerned about whether the pregnancy would go through without any problem, whether we'll be ready when it's time.
So were you scared, or were you asking yourself questions, or was there a time when maybe you went to see your friends or somebody or your parents just to inquire about how it works?
Did I talk
Did you
to
have
friends?
questions?
I don't think I talked to friends. I did more of personal research. Yeah, it was personal research.
So what were you researching?
On how to get ready, what to prepare when the woman is pregnant, how to make sure that you're ready on that day, and how to help as a husband, how to help your wife so that she wouldn't have the impression that you're completely disconnected. So what are the things you can do to try to somehow alleviate her pain, even though I wasn't feeling that you were in pain, so to speak.
So now you are talking about the day of the delivery?
No, not the day of the delivery, but the days here during the pregnancy. Helping around, making sure that the load on you is lifted when it comes to things to do at home and stuff like that.
So tell me about your experience, your first experience, the day of the delivery, when I was going to have a baby. Do you remember the first experience you had? How were you feeling? What are the things that spoke louder to you?
Well, I don't remember exactly what happened on that day. I think I was at work.
Yes, you were at work.
I was at work, and then I got a call that you were going to the hospital because you thought your water broke. I didn't quite understand really the meaning of that. When the water breaks, what does that mean for the baby or anything like that? But I knew it was serious, so I went to the hospital. I stopped work. I asked permission to come to the hospital, and when we got to the hospital, I don't think you had the baby on that day. No, you didn't have the baby on that day. But I became a little bit anxious when the night when I stayed there, wanted to spend the night because it was Cameroon. I wasn't allowed to spend the night, and even though the nurse and the medical professionals were saying it's fine, come back tomorrow, everything will be okay. I was concerned.
Yeah, why?
Concerned. Maybe not to the point of being scared, but concerned because I knew that something had happened. Your water broke, and I didn't understand why things were not speeding up. How come your water broke, but you had to wait until maybe the next day for the baby to come?
So at that very moment, you knew that my water broke. The nurse was telling you that it's okay, everything is going to be all right. But how were you feeling at that moment? Like all this connection, what was in your mind? I mean, what are the things
There was a lot of confusion, and maybe at some point, I think I got scared at some point, because usually you hear stories about people who they go to the hospital to give birth and they never come back. Maybe they die, or the baby die, or so, or whatever. And the fact that those thoughts were definitely crossing my mind. And the fact that at some point the nurse, she asked me to go back home because she said I was having a bad influence on your blood pressure. She was saying that I was so much concerned that I was somehow transferring the concern to you, and that because of that your blood pressure was going up and up. So I had to leave.
Yeah, I remember when I said.
Yeah, and
so when
I
you
really left against my will.
Yeah.
And that night was a challenging, very difficult night, because I don't know how many hours I slept that night, because my mind was at the hospital waiting, hoping that at any point I would receive a phone call.
So what were you doing when you went home? Did you pray?
Yeah, I was in prayer. I was in prayer most of the time. But of course, those are times when you try to pray as much as you can, but at some point you don't even pray anymore. You just wait to see what will happen.
And then you remember at what point baby was born? Like,
I don't know exactly. I think I went back to the hospital. Was that in the morning? I think I went back to the hospital in the morning. Things were somehow the same, even though we asked for the extent of the labor, and that's how I learned about what do you call those?
The centimeters.
Yeah, the centimeters.
Dilated.
The dilation, all of that. Learn about all those terms. And I think someone came, because we started, we were alone, and then there was a mom, either your mom or my mom, who came. She traveled on that day.
Yeah.
So she joined me. We were in Douala. She came from Bilong. She traveled and joined me at the hospital, and we were there waiting together. And I would say that when she came, because I knew a person of experience, a mom with many kids, so that helped me.
Okay, you felt
Yeah,
better.
I felt better. I felt a little relieved because I knew, okay, if an experienced person is here, maybe I can look at her emotions and see if she's not too worried. It means there's no reason for me to worry.
Yeah. So it did help.
Yeah, it helped.
The fact that there was somebody.
Yeah.
Wow. Usually it's a little difficult, especially here in America. It's even difficult to find help, whilst a lot of women have given birth by themselves. So I can understand what you're saying, that it can be relieving to at least have somebody there who has given birth before, and somebody who knows what is going to happen.
I think throughout the time when we stayed there, she was telling me, no, it's going to be fine, it's going to be okay. And we stayed there for hours.
Yeah.
For hours. Because I think the baby was born in the midday, maybe 11 or so.
Yes, around 11. Yeah.
So we stayed there for some time.
And then when the baby was born, you were.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I remember, it wasn't your mom, it was my mom, because when they was it your mom? Yeah. It was what? Both?
Mm-hmm.
Both were there. I don't quite remember, but I remember
when the baby was born.
It was really mixed emotions, mixed feelings that are difficult to really explain. But I was looking at the baby, asking myself, okay, so this is my son, this is my child. So now I'm a dad. So this is the product of something that came from me, or something that I did. I mean, you think about everything, and you realize how amazing it is to all of a sudden. I mean, it's like all of a sudden you become a dad.
Yes.
Because as a father, you don't go through the same experience. I guess for the mother it's different because you carry the baby.
Yes.
So you just long to see that person you felt in your womb for such a long time.
Yeah. The experience is definitely not the same.
Yeah.
We are carrying the baby, we know what is going on with our belly, and we see our body.
Right.
All they see is how our body is being transformed.
Right.
But they are going through all these emotions, and that's what we are doing today. We want to find out what are their feelings, what are their emotions, what are the type of prayers that they prayed, or the affirmations that they made. We really want to hear that.
Yeah, so seeing myself all of a sudden, it was like all of a sudden I was different. All of a sudden this was now this being that was just born and that I had to take care of. So I became more than ever conscious of my responsibility as having now a being completely completely at my under my full responsibility.
Yes.
A person who cannot take care of themselves at all.
Yeah.
It's not like your spouse, but my wife when you are an adult. So yes, I have a responsibility upon you.
But it's different.
But it's different knowing that everything concerning this being is upon you. This being is going to rely upon you to grow up, to become an adult.
Yeah. So would you say that the second experience was different from the first? The feelings that you had, that sense of more responsibilities, or was it different?
Yes, it was somehow different. It was somehow different, and something that made it even more different was the fact that I wasn't around.
Yeah.
For the second experience, I was not there.
So for our second child, he was not there. So I want him to share that experience, because I know that there are some fathers who might not be around when their wives are having the baby at that very moment. So tell me, what was your feeling when you were in Gabon, I believe, or in Congo?
No, I was in Gabon. I was in Bafoussam.
Oh, he was in Bafoussam. Okay, at that moment, yeah. So when I was having the baby and you heard that.
Yeah, I remember that the weekend before.
You had traveled.
I had traveled to Douala. I saw you the weekend before, so maybe a few days before that, before you gave birth. I had seen you. I knew that the birth was imminent, that you give birth at any time. But I wasn't really, my mind was not necessarily focused on that. So it was just by surprise I received a phone call on that night. I didn't go through everything that you went through, and I didn't know what happened. I just received a phone call. I think I was sleeping. And then I saw the phone call from the pastor whose house you were staying at, who called me to tell me that the child was born. So it was a big surprise, and the phone call was short. He told me that the child was born, that he was healthy, and that was it.
So how did you feel to know that your child is born and you are here, you're over there, you can't see the baby right now?
Well, I just wanted to travel. I wanted, if it was at all possible, right at that time, to just turn on the car's engine and travel, but it was late at night. So I had to wait until the morning, and I'm sure I didn't sleep that night. In the morning I called my boss to let him know that I needed to travel back to Douala because my wife had just given birth to a baby. And the trip, well, you can imagine that on the road I was trying my best to drive carefully and respect the speed limit, because it was a lot of emotions. I was really looking forward to coming and seeing the baby.
Yeah.
know that you were at the hospital, so I drove straight to the hospital.
Yeah.
And went there to see the baby.
So how about our third daughter? Our third child, first daughter, when she was born. She was born. That experience we had was here.
Yeah.
In America.
Yeah, that was a completely different experience because it was the first time that I was allowed in the delivery room.
Yes.
So I was there. I think it's the only child. She's the only child where I witnessed the whole thing from beginning
to the end. Okay, so now this experience is really going to be different because you were there. So what?
Yeah, it was different. So we left the house together. We went there together. I was with you when the room was assigned to you. I remember that first the nurse who came when they checked you, they thought nothing was going on. I think the nurse actually wanted to discharge you for the night.
Yes.
Because she checked and said, no, you're not dilated enough. Even though as you were leaving, you had that feeling that you were going to give birth on that day, given your previous experiences.
Yes.
But when we got there, the nurse, of course, because you didn't show any signs of being feeling pain or anything like that, and because of the fact that based on her initial assessment, you were not dilated enough, she wanted to send you home.
So let me ask you before you continue with our first child. I didn't feel any pain either, and I think the fact that I was not feeling pain, you were a little concerned.
Yeah, for the very first time I was concerned.
Yeah. So how about the second time? Because you witnessed the second time.
No, the second time I was not there.
No, with Joy.
With Joy, the first daughter.
Yeah.
I was there. I knew.
You were already used.
Yeah, I was somehow already used to it. And I remember because of things that happened during the pregnancy. I remember how the baby was coming on the wrong position, and then you had that dream.
Yes, you're gonna tell the perspective of that. Yeah.
That night, I think we prayed about that, and that night specifically, he woke me up and said I was praying, and I'm sure the baby turned around, and I was like, okay, well, we praise God. On the following day or a couple of days after that, we went to the hospital. We did your you checked, you did your ultrasound, and indeed the baby had returned back to normal position. So because of all of that and the previous experience, I knew that everything would be all right. But there's always a form of anxiety, especially on the part of the dad, because I'm not in your body. I don't know exactly what you feel, the things you feel that reassure you. I don't know what they are. I can only rely on what you tell me. So yeah, there was a little bit of anxiety. Yet when we got there, the nurse checked you and she said, no, you're going back today. And you were like, no, I think I'm going to give birth today. I don't know if you insisted on seeing the doctor, or it was planned that the doctor should come. But anyway, the doctor came. There was an intern.
Yeah, there was an intern.
There was an intern, a
came,
boy.
Yes.
A male.
Yes.
Who came and he was checking you, and you insisted that they send you a female.
Yes.
So they sent that doctor. She came, she checked you, and she said, "Oh, but what are you doing? This woman is ready. This baby is coming tonight." So they changed the setting, everything, and they put you there, ready. The lady came. I mean, I saw how she was doing all the stuff.
Then I started pushing.
She asked you to push. So she gave me 2 or 3 pieces of advice. I told her it was my very first time. But she was so professional, and she made sure that I wouldn't be scared at all. She reassured me that, oh, this was routine business, so there's nothing here. But she didn't seem to be too surprised by the fact that you were not feeling any pain. Maybe because of her own experience, I don't know, but I didn't have the impression that she was surprised by that. But things happened really quickly.
Yeah.
So we became pushed, and I saw how the baby came, and I saw the flow of blood, and frankly, it's something that you don't forget as a man, because it was my first time witnessing that, and I could realize how difficult it is to give birth.
Yes.
Because you see where the baby comes from, and you see that how that organ enlarges itself to allow the baby to come. And I mean, it's something you cannot imagine. You know that when a lady goes there, she comes back, the baby comes out from there. But seeing it is a different story.
So it's, I mean, we can just say that childbirth is supernatural.
Right.
And that, I mean, it takes the extravagant grace of God to give birth.
Right.
To have a baby. When you have that kid, would you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, because from a, well, they can explain it from a biological standpoint. They can say, okay, your womb dilates, or whatever, the uterus, whatever dilations are done there, or to allow the baby to flow naturally out. But when you look at it with just your natural eyes, it's really hard to understand how that channel, how a baby can go through that channel and come out, and how a woman will sustain that. So that's why pain is somehow natural, because what happens when the baby comes is just supernatural. It's not normal that such a small channel will allow a whole human being, who usually is what, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5
6
pounds,
pounds.
6 pounds for some women to come through that small channel.
Yeah. When you say it that way, even myself as a woman, it causes me to realize how much women are blessed. Like women who have had the privilege to give birth are so blessed. I mean, the grace of God is just extravagant in your life, and it's just manifesting in such an amazing way that you don't want to stop thanking God for what He's doing. Like every time you see a woman holding a baby, that's the grace of God in action.
Right.
The grace of God working, like a live testimony of the grace of God. I mean, it's just so powerful the way you are sharing it. How about our last born? What was your experience?
The last one was like the second one.
Yeah, you
so
were
I had similar experiences with
Twice.
the first, the third, and the second and the last.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I was here in DC, you were in Ohio. You gave birth, I was called, and I had to travel. I think I traveled overnight.
Yes, you did.
Overnight I came and I saw the baby. Yeah, it was somehow similar to the experience with the second one.
Yeah.
And when I saw the baby, she seemed to look so much like a sister.
Yes.
She looked so much like a sister, and you told me the whole story of how
I had given birth.
how you gave birth with the nurses who didn't believe, and that you give birth without pain and all of that. So it was just somehow a repeat for me.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't special. It was special having a baby, holding a baby in your hands, knowing that you've seen him or her in the womb, or you have imagined what he or she would look like while in the womb for so many months. It's quite something.
So what would you say to a father who is at the verge of getting discouraged or giving up because they are not seeing anything happening, or a family who every time they are expecting a baby they are thinking about all the pain that they went through, and etc., etc. What would you say to them just to encourage them? Because I want to know, I want to believe that it really takes the grace of God, the extravagant grace of God, to be able to carry a baby and to bring it to its fullness and to have that baby. But these people, they need to be encouraged, and they need to understand different stories, such as giving birth the way I did. By the grace of God, I was able to give birth 4 times without pain. So I truly believe that the grace of God is available to all vessels. But I want to hear, what would you say to a father or a family who is in that situation where they are afraid, they are scared, they don't know what will happen this time. They want to give up and just
give up because of the pain.
Give up because they might not make it.
Because they might not have a child.
Yeah, or all of it. They might not have a child, or every single experience that they have had with childbirth was just a horrible story.
What I can say really is that the world is made of 8 billion people, and those 8 billion people went through the same way, through a man and a woman coming together, one getting pregnant for at least 6 months and giving birth. So if they've tried, or they've been trying for a long time and nothing has come, they shouldn't get discouraged, because the population of the earth is proof that it's possible.
Yeah.
If you had 8 billion people living on this earth who didn't come differently, they came through the same means of sexual encounter. A woman gets pregnant, she goes through pregnancy for a number of months and she gives birth. They shouldn't lose hope. You have a lot of women or couples who have lost children. They've had several miscarriages, and eventually they ended up having a good number of children, 3, 4, 5 children. So if the baby is not coming, if you've been trying for a while and the lady has not been able to carry the pregnancy to its end, I would say don't get discouraged and just leave that into the hands of God.
Amen.
Because as we said, this whole thing is just a miracle. It happens by His grace. So there's not, yes, I know that with technology, if you can go through all the means that technology allows to have a baby, yes, you can try that. But if you do and it still doesn't work, don't lose hope.
Yes.
Don't lose hope as long as you can. Keep trying, because others have gone through that and they have had different experiences. Some people have waited for decades to have a child, and then when the first child came, gave way to many other children. So
Yes.
experiences are different for different people. So there's really no reason to lose hope.
Definitely. There's no reason to lose hope. Just like my husband, Pastor Bilong, just said, there's no reason to lose hope. The grace of God is still there. It's available to all vessels, and it's waiting for you just to tap into it. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. If you have not done so yet, please visit my blog at www.extravagantgracebook.com. And for those who have not purchased my book yet, I wrote a book. I'm the author of this book that you're seeing right here. So you can find it on Amazon, on Target, and all the book channels. Wherever they sell books, you will find this book. But I really appreciate you being here. So Pastor Bilong, do you have any last word?
The last word would be that children are a blessing, and really that's the way we should treat them, as a blessing, regardless of how the Lord chooses to give us the children that we have. We can have children by natural childbirth, we can have children by adoption, the Lord can choose to give us spiritual children instead. No matter how the Lord chooses to give us children, we should receive them with an open heart, with gratefulness. If as a lady or as a woman or as a man, we are not able to have a child through natural means, it doesn't take away our manhood or our womanhood, because it's a blessing, and God chooses to bless us as He wishes.
Yes.
And ultimately, those children will just stewards. It's a blessing, but at the same time, God just somehow lends them to us to take care of until He Himself eventually will take charge and allow those children to become what He has decided they will become, the purpose to achieve, to accomplish the purpose for which He created them. So that's how we should see children in general. I think if we change that perspective, it's going to help us to not be demoralized, discouraged, give up on life or on our faith because we don't have a child. And the same way, if we have children, we shouldn't think that we have earned it, that it's something special that we did to deserve to have 4, 5, 6 children. No, we deserve nothing. The same way we don't deserve our salvation, it's just by the grace of God through our faith. The same way the children that God gives us, whether naturally, by adoption, spiritually, no matter what means the Lord chooses to give our children, is still and always by His grace, and receive them by faith.
That is powerful, and this is the last word of Pastor Bilong. It's from a pastor. It's definitely by grace, by the extravagant grace of God, that you were able to carry that baby in your womb and to deliver that baby and to be able to be a mother or a father. Thank you so much, Pastor Bilong, for agreeing to interview here for our viewers. And thank you so much for coming. Again, my name is Sandrine Bilong. I am the author of Extravagant Grace, and you can find my book everywhere. Thank you, and bye-bye. See you next time. Bye now.